Greetings, my name is Juliette Guarino Berg. I am an elementary science specialist in New York City, as well as one of the organizers of the Elementary STEM Initiative for STEM Teachers NYC, a nonprofit organization providing professional development and other types of support to STEM teachers in the New York City metropolitan area. Today, I am excited to present Exploring Energy Transfer in Ecosystems with SageModeler, which outlines a series of lessons that my fifth grade scientists participated in this past academic year. This unit plan is adapted from the article Teaching Through Tradebooks, The Dynamics Within Ecosystems by Christine Ann Royce from the April-May 2019 issue of Science and Children magazine. Royce suggests kicking off a series of lessons meant to lead students towards determining what an owl eats and constructing a food chain showing how an owl gets energy with the book Owls by Gail Gibbons. I commence our series of lessons by performing a read aloud of this book, highlighting the fact that owls are raptors or birds of prey, and that they cough up what they can't digest in pellets. Following our read aloud, students use tweezers to separate hard objects like bones and teeth from the remainder of the owl pellet, which consists of materials like fur and feathers. Once students have removed bones and teeth from the owl pellets, they use the Cornell Lab of Ornithology bone identification chart to determine which organisms' remains have been removed from the pellets. They compare the bones and teeth that they have collected with the bones and teeth illustrated on the chart. Before we jump into the process of creating simple food chains, fifth grade ecologists must access prior knowledge from earlier in the academic year. One of the next generation science standards performance expectations for fifth graders states that students should be able to support an argument that plants get the materials they need for growth, chiefly from air and water. Students recall an investigation that allowed them to determine that plants need light, carbon dioxide, and water to perform photosynthesis or create their own food. Now, students are ready to begin building simple food chains. They use the kid-friendly search engine Kidtopia, which is powered by Google, to fill out their food chains. Each food chain must show how energy originates with the sun and is transferred from organism to organism until it reaches the owl's predator. Students must also be able to differentiate between producers and consumers in their food chains. Once fifth grade scientists have created simple food chains, I introduce them to SageModeler, a free web-based software that allows students to create basic diagrams, static equilibrium models, and time-based dynamic models. Since this is the first time students are using this application, they will create simple diagrams illustrating their food chains. Here are two basic food chains created by students using SageModeler. Here, they have added to their original food chain diagrams by including decomposers and including more arrows indicating the direction of energy transfer. Each student's food chain diagram has its own web address. Once students have added their web address to a shared class document, they can visit each other's food chain diagrams via a virtual gallery walk. Following the virtual gallery walk, students are challenged to transform their food chains into food webs by adding components of other students' food chains to their diagrams on SageModeler. This student successfully added components of other food chains to her diagram, creating a food web. This student also added newly learned vocabulary to the diagram, such as producer, consumer, and decomposer. At the end of this unit of study, each student has a food web that they can share with their classmates as well as the greater school community. Food webs can be shared via URL or printed and displayed in a common area. The activities outlined in this unit of study address two next-generation science standards performance expectations for fifth grade scientists. The first performance expectation addressed, a physical science standard, states that students who demonstrate understanding can use models to describe that energy in animals' food was once energy from the sun. Satisfying this performance expectation also allows students to engage in the science and engineering practice, developing and using models, and delve deeper into an understanding of the cross-cutting concept, energy and matter. The second performance expectation addressed, a life science standard, states that students who demonstrate understanding can develop a model to describe the movement of matter among plants, animals, decomposers, and the environment. Satisfying this performance expectation also allows students to delve deeper into an understanding of the cross-cutting concept, systems and system models. I hope that you will engage in this series of lessons with your students during the upcoming academic year. Here, you will find reference information for Christine Ann Royce's article, Teaching Through Tradebooks, The Dynamics Within Ecosystems, Gail Gibbons' book, Owls, and the Next Generation Science Standards. Here, you will find web addresses for the kid-safe search engine Kidtopia, the systems modeling tool known as SageModeler, and the Cornell Lab of Ornithology bone identification chart. Thank you, and good luck digging into owl pellets with your students.